The stars were silent dot in the black sky of deep space. A single human fighter ship moved fast, fire burning from one side. Inside, Jake Hunter, a decorated human combat pilot, tried to control his damaged ship, control systems offline. The robotic voice said. Jake's hands shook on the controls. His helmet was cracked, blood running down his face. He looked at a photo taped to his dashboard, a picture of Earth, his home. A deep breath. "I'm not dying out here," he whispered suddenly. A strange green planet appeared on his radar. Unknown, unmarked. He had no choice. The ship entered the atmosphere, metal tearing, alarms screaming. Jake closed his eyes as the world below came closer. Closer boom. The ship crashed through the thick alien forest with a loud explosion. Trees burned, smoke rose. The jungle fell silent. Hours passed. Jake opened his eyes slowly. His suit was torn, arm broken. Pain screamed in his body. He crawled out of the wreckage, every breath heavy. Strange sounds filled the air, soft clicking noises, distant animal calls. The sky was greenish blue. Plants glowed in the dark. It wasn't Earth. It wasn't anything like Earth. He stood up, then collapsed. That's when he saw her. She stepped from the shadows, tall and glowing in the strange light. A woman, but not human. Her skin was smooth like glass, faintly purple. Her eyes shone like stars. Hair floated softly behind her, like it had its own wind. Jake tried to speak, but nothing came out. His vision blurred. She moved quickly and knelt beside him. She placed a hand on his chest and pulled out a glowing crystal from her necklace. "No." "Move," she said, voice soft but firm. The crystal glowed bright, then entered Jake's chest. Pain, then warmth. His broken bones began to heal. His breathing became easy. Jake blinked. "Who are you?" She looked into his eyes. "You, not enemy?" she asked, confused. Jake nodded weakly. "I don't think so." She helped him up. Her hands were warm. Jake felt calm near her. She looked around, alert. "We must go," she said. "Danger comes." They walked through thick jungle. Jake leaned on her for support. The plants moved when they passed, as if watching. "My name's Jake," he said. She looked at him. "Serena," she replied. "Where am I?" She paused. "My world, not for humans. You fall from sky. My people don't like your kind." Jake frowned. "Why help me then?" She didn't answer. They reached a cave hidden behind thick vines. Inside, the walls glowed softly. Symbols were carved everywhere, ancient, alien, but strangely beautiful. Serena pointed to a flat rock. "Sit, you weak still." Jake sat down. He looked at the symbols. "What is this place?" "My father's cave," Serena said. "He was king once. Now gone." Jake looked at her. "Your royalty?" She nodded slowly. "Princess, but no people now. All gone. I left behind." "Why?" "They wanted war. I wanted peace. They call me traitor." Jake's heart sank. He could see the pain in her eyes. Even if she tried to hide it, he knew that look. He'd seen it in soldiers who lost everything. "I know how that feels," he said softly. She glanced at him, surprised. "You, not like others." He smiled a little. "Neither are you. Just." Then, a strange humming sound echoed from outside. Serena jumped up. Her eyes glowed slightly. "They find us," she whispered. Jake stood, still weak but alert. "Who?" Serena didn't answer. She grabbed a glowing rod from the wall. "They not let me live, and now you too." Jake reached for his sidearm, but realized it was gone. "Guess I'm on your side now." She looked at him, a small smile on her lips. "You already were." The humming grew louder. Outside, red lights passed between the trees, scanning beams. Serena held out her hand. Jake took it. "Ready?" she asked. "No," Jake said honestly. "But let's do it anyway." They ran deeper into the cave, disappearing into darkness. Opening scene, unique hook. Rain fell from the green sky like silver needles. Inside the dark cave, glowing walls pulsed with soft blue light. Jake sat silently, watching Serena from a distance. She stood near the edge of the cave, her face turned toward the rain, eyes closed, arms open like she was waiting for something. Or saying goodbye. She whispered something in her language. The wind answered in a soft hum. Jake stepped closer. "Are you praying?" he asked. Serena opened her eyes but didn't look at him. "Not prayer, memory." Jake was confused. "Of what?" She turned, sadness in her eyes. "Of the last time I saw my mother." Middle section, the truth revealed. Serena walked to a small table carved from rock. She touched it gently, and a part of the wall lit up, showing a moving image like a memory from the past. Jake saw her as a child, sitting beside a beautiful alien queen. Soldiers stood around them. Then explosions, screams, fire. Her people were escaping on ships. Serena ran toward one, but the doors closed. Her mother stood inside, crying, but didn't stop the ship. It flew away. The image faded. Jake was shocked. "They left you?" She nodded. "My mother wanted peace, but the council chose war. She had to obey them. I refused." Jake felt something heavy in his chest. They left a child behind. Because she chose peace? Serena looked down. "To them, I was weak. Peace is weakness." Jake shook his head. "Where I'm from, peace is courage." She gave a small, broken smile. "You are strange, Jake Hunter. I get that a lot." Bonding and trust building. Jake looked at the alien symbols on the wall again. "What do they say?" Serena walked over, touched a symbol. "This is the symbol for heart." She touched another. "This means alone." Jake paused. "A lone heart?" She nodded. "It was my father's mark. He believed even in darkness, love could find a way." Jake sat down, tired. "Maybe he was right. You found me." She turned to him slowly. "Or, you found me." They looked at each other for a long moment. No words, just silence and rain. New threat emerging. Suddenly, the cave shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. Serena's face turned serious. "They are close." Jake stood. "Those scanners from earlier?" "No," she said. "Something worse." From the wall, Serena pulled a thin, glowing spear. She tossed a small crystal to Jake. "Hold this. If you bleed, it will help." Jake caught it. "What about weapons?" She pointed to an old console. "You are pilot. Maybe the ship listens to you." Jake walked to the strange machine. He placed his hand on it. The surface scanned his palm. A soft click. Then it lit up. Words appeared on the screen. "Hybrid. Recognized. Access granted." Serena gasped. "Only royal blood. Or bonded soul. Can unlock it." Jake blinked. "I'm not royalty." She looked at him. Then, maybe something deeper. Ending scene, suspense and mystery. Jake stepped back from the console. The wall behind it slid open, revealing a narrow tunnel lit by soft blue lights. "What is this?" he asked. Serena's eyes widened. "I thought it was legend." "The escape. Path of the Ancient Ones." Suddenly, a distant voice echoed through the cave, mechanical and cold. "Princess Serena, come out. Your time is over." Serena's face went pale. Jake grabbed her hand. "We run again?" She shook her head. "Not this time." He looked into her eyes. "Then we fight?" She nodded. "Together." The two stepped into the tunnel, deeper into mystery, deeper into danger. Behind them, red eyes blinked in the shadows. Opening scene, unique and visual. The ground was breathing. As Jake and Serena stepped into the hidden tunnel, the floor beneath them pulsed with soft blue light like it was alive, guiding them. Strange glowing vines curled along the walls, moving slowly, sensing their presence. Jake looked around. This place feels awake. Serena nodded. It remembers us. Suddenly, a low humming echoed from behind the sound of alien boots. Entering the cave they just left, Jake's eyes narrowed. They're here. Serena closed her eyes. My brother's men. Jake raised an eyebrow. You have a brother? Her voice turned cold. Not anymore. Tension and escape begins. They ran down the tunnel, shadows chasing behind. Why does your brother want you dead? Jake asked while running. He thinks I shame the royal blood. He believes only power keeps peace. She paused. I believe. Only love does. Jake gave a half smile, still sprinting. Guess he didn't like your beliefs. No, she said. He burned our city to prove me wrong. Introducing the alien hunters. Back in the cave, 3 tall alien soldiers stood under the carved ceiling. Their armor was black and sharp, with red lights across their helmets. One of them scanned the floor with a glowing device. 2 life forms. 1 human, 1 royal. The leader raised his weapon. The human dies. Bring the traitor alive. Without a sound, they moved into the tunnel. Jake and Serena discover the jungle world. The tunnel opened into a massive alien jungle, trees like towers, leaves like shields, light falling in rays from a cracked alien moon above. They paused, catching breath. Jake looked at Serena. We can't keep running forever. No, she agreed. We must turn and fight, but not yet. I need something first. Jake frowned. What? Serena stepped toward a tree that looked ordinary, but when she touched it, it opened like a door. Inside, an old vine-covered alien escape pod. Jake stared. You've been planning this, she nodded. Since the day they left me. Revealing the plan and character growth. Inside the pod, Serena touched a console. It flickered but turned on. She handed Jake a strange alien wristband. This will connect to your mind. The pod will follow your thoughts. Jake hesitated. What if I think about flying into a mountain? Serena smiled for the first time. Then we die very fast. Jake put it on. It clicked. Why me? He asked. Why trust me? Serena's face turned serious. Because when I look at you, I see someone who doesn't run from pain. Jake's voice lowered. I see someone who deserves to be queen. Their moment was cut short by a sudden explosion boom. A part of the jungle behind them caught fire. They're here. Serena shouted. Chase scene intensifies. Jake and Serena ran through the thick trees. Alien drones zipped through the air, firing red beams. Jake rolled, picked up a stick, and threw it at one drone, hitting its wing. It crashed into a rock. Serena used her glowing spear to deflect another shot. Jake shouted, You know, for a princess, you're kinda badass. Serena replied, You know, for a human, you're not bad either. They jumped into the old escape pod. Jake focused. The ship started to float, rising through trees. Burning engines shaking the leaves. Cliffhanger ending, high suspense. As the pod lifted, Serena looked out the window and froze. A large black alien battleship was appearing in the sky. Its design was royal, one she recognized instantly. Jake followed her gaze. Let me guess, your brother? Serena nodded. He never misses the kill. Jake looked ahead. Then he's about to be very disappointed. Opening scene, unique hook. The escape pod flew like a silver bird through the green skies. But inside, Jake Hunter sat still. Eyes closed, body trembling. He was dreaming, but not his own dream. He saw burning cities, alien kings, starships made of light. He stood in royal halls, wearing strange armor, surrounded by alien warriors, and beside him was Serena. Suddenly his eyes flew open. He gasped for air. Serena turned from the controls. Another vision? Jake nodded slowly. Yeah, but I wasn't me. I was someone else. Serena stared at him, her face pale. The crystal is waking something inside you. Middle section. Discovering the change. Jake looked at his hands. They were glowing faintly blue. I'm changing, aren't I? Serena nodded. The healing crystal wasn't just medicine. It carried the memory of my people, their power. Jake stood up, dizzy. I'm not fully human anymore. No. Serena said, you are something new. Suddenly, the pod's lights flickered. Hold on, she said. Energy is low. We need to land. They descended into a glowing valley. Strange alien birds flew overhead. The trees hummed like they were singing. Serena pointed to an old alien temple hidden in the mist. That place, it may hold answers. Inside the temple, secrets revealed. The temple doors opened at Serena's touch. Inside, glowing statues of ancient alien rulers lined the walls. Blue fire floated in the air. Jake touched one of the symbols, and the room lit up. Serena stepped back in shock. Only royal blood can do that. Jake said nothing. He was hearing a voice in his head, a deep, ancient voice. You carry the mark of union, human courage, alien soul. You are the bridge. Jake turned to Serena. The temple, it's talking to me. A beam of light scanned Jake's body. A panel opened in the floor, revealing a hidden chamber. Inside it, an ancient alien suit of armor, glowing with power. Jake's transformation begins. Serena stared in disbelief. That armor was made for the protector of the crown, a warrior who would defend the royal line with his life. Jake stepped forward. As he touched it, the armor floated around him and began to merge into his body like liquid light. When it was done, he stood taller, stronger, glowing with ancient energy. Jake whispered, "What am I now?" Serena stepped closer. "You are bonded to me, Jake, by fate, or something greater." Suddenly, outside, an alarm echoed. Red lights filled the sky. New enemy arrives, rising tension. A ship descended nearby. Not Kale's. This one was different, black and gold, smooth, silent. From it stepped a creature with silver eyes and no mouth. A bounty hunter. Serena gasped. An echo. Thought they were extinct. Jake looked at his hands. "Let's hope. I'm strong enough." The echo raised a spear that vibrated with sound. It moved faster than anything Jake had ever seen. Jake raised his hands, and a glowing energy shield formed in front of him. The spear hit it. Boom! The shockwave shook the temple. Jake's eyes glowed blue, his voice deeper. "Not bad for a rookie, huh?" Final moment. Cliffhanger plus mystery. Jake managed to push the echo back, but the hunter vanished into thin air, like smoke. Serena looked worried. "He wasn't here to kill us. He was scanning you. Why?" Jake asked. She answered softly, "Because you're not just a pilot anymore. You're a weapon." Opening scene. Unique emotional hook. The night sky on the alien world turned violet. Jake stood outside the ancient temple, armor still glowing from the last battle. The stars above him shimmered like cold eyes watching. He didn't speak. Behind him, Serena was silent too, but then, the silence broke by a sound neither of them expected. A song, a soft haunting melody floated through the air. It was coming from the forest. Serena froze. "No," she whispered. "That song, it's only sung at royal funerals." Jake turned. "What does it mean?" Her voice trembled. "It means they're coming." Arrival of Serena's people. Bright golden lights filled the sky. A giant alien ship, shining and smooth, landed just beyond the trees. Its shape was different from Kale's warships. It was royal, ancient, beautiful, and silent like a ghost. From it stepped 12 figures, dressed in white and gold. At the center, a tall alien man with glowing eyes. Serena whispered, "My brother." Jake narrowed his eyes. "Kale?" "No," she said. "The other one, my twin, Prince Rovan." Jake blinked. "You never told me you had a twin." Serena looked down. "He was the only one who cried when they left me behind." Unexpected reunion turns dark. Rovan walked forward and opened his arms. "Serena," he said softly. "You're still alive." Serena stepped forward, slowly. Jake stayed alert, one hand near his weapon. Rovan looked at Jake. "And you must be the human, the warrior bonded to my sister." Jake replied, "Name's Jake. Thanks for the dramatic entrance." Rovan smiled. Politely, "I came to bring my sister home." Jake turned to Serena. "That's good, right?" But Serena didn't smile. Her eyes were full of fear. Rovan stepped closer. "There's just one condition. She returns alone." The betrayal. Serena stood frozen. Jake looked at her. "You're not going with them, are you?" She said nothing. Rovan spoke instead. "She has to. It's the only way to stop the war. The council fears her power. Her connection with you makes them nervous." Jake took a step back. "So what? If she leaves me, they stop hunting us?" Rovan nodded. "Yes, but if she stays with you, they will burn every planet you touch." Serena turned to Jake, tears in her eyes. "I don't want to go. But I can't let more people die." Jake whispered, "This is your choice." She stepped forward toward Rovan. Jake felt his heart sink. But then everything changed. Rovan raised his hand. Jake was hit by a wave of invisible energy thrown back, armor cracking. "Serena!" he shouted. She turned, shocked. "What are you doing?" Rovan's voice turned cold. "He has seen too much, touched too much. He cannot live." Guards rushed in. Jake tried to stand but couldn't. Serena screamed, but two guards held her back. Capture and separation. Jake was dragged across the ground, bleeding, barely conscious. His vision blurred, but he saw Serena fighting against her own people. Her voice lost in the chaos. Rovan looked down at Jake. "You should have stayed out of this." Jake smirked through the pain. "You should have stayed dead." Then everything went black. Scene change. Jake wakes up. Jake woke up inside a cold alien prison. Metal walls. No windows. Just silence. He sat up, dizzy, alone. But something felt different. He touched his chest. The armor was gone. But inside the power still burned. He whispered to himself, "She didn't leave me, not really." Final hook, suspense and emotion. Far across the galaxy, inside a royal palace, Serena stood in front of the council. Chains around her hands. Fury in her eyes. "I came to stop the war," she said. The council leader spoke. "You came back tainted. Bonded to a human." Serena raised her head. "Then fear me, because I'll never be yours again." Silence. Then a heartbeat. Thump. In the darkness of the alien prison, Jake sat cross-legged on the cold metal floor. His hands were tied. His face was bruised, but his mind was on fire. He could hear every sound in the ship. Every whisper through the walls, every breath of the guards. It wasn't normal. It wasn't human. He wasn't human anymore. He whispered into the dark, "I don't belong to Earth. Not anymore." And the prison walls answered with a soft blue pulse like they agreed. Scene shift. Serena's rebellion begins in the high royal chamber. Serena stood tall, still in chains. Dozens of alien leaders watched her with cold eyes. Her twin brother, Rovan, stood beside the throne. He spoke loudly. "Serena was touched by a human. She is no longer one of us." Gasps filled the room. Serena didn't flinch. "You abandoned me. He saved me." "You betrayed the bloodline," a council member shouted. "No," Serena said calmly. "I changed it." Suddenly she raised her chained hands and broke them free. Gasps again. Her body began to glow blue and violet. Her royal blood awakened by her bond with Jake. Guards rushed her, but Serena raised her hand and every weapon in the room melted into dust. Meanwhile, Jake's power awakens fully back in the prison. Jake's heartbeat grew louder. Thump, thump, thump. The walls of his cell began to shake. The guard outside shouted, What's happening in there? Jake stood slowly. His eyes were glowing bright blue. I was never your prisoner, he said with a scream. He pulled his arms apart, and the bindings shattered. The walls cracked. The doors exploded open. 2 guards rushed in. Weapons raised. Jake moved like lightning, disarming both in seconds, without killing them. Then he looked up at the security camera. You wanted to see what a human can do? He said, I'm just getting started. Serena and Jake fight from 2 sides. Serena ran through the palace halls, blue light trailing behind her like fire. Jake ran through the warship corridors, armored again, his powers sensed with the ancient tech. On different worlds, they were fighting the same war. Guards fell. Alarms rang. Chaos grew. And both of them whispered the same words at the same time. We're coming for each other. Jake reaches the command deck. Jake burst into the warship's control center. A dozen alien officers turned, shocked. Stand down. One shouted. Jake didn't answer. He placed his hand on the control console. The entire ship shut down, lights dimmed, weapons offline, engines silent. I'm taking this ship, Jake said. And I'm going to get her back. Serena takes the throne. Just. For a moment in the royal chamber, Rovan returned, angry, wounded. You've turned the people against me. He shouted. They were never yours. Serena replied. He attacked with full force. A violent battle followed, power against power. Twin against twin. In the end, Serena stood over him. She could have ended him. But she didn't. She looked into his eyes. This is not what Jake would want. Rovan whispered, defeated. Then you've truly changed. She walked away from the throne. I don't want a crown, she said. I want freedom. Cliffhanger ending. Epic hook. Outside the palace, hundreds of alien ships began rising into the sky. Serena looked up and smiled. It's him. Jake's stolen warship broke through the clouds, blue fire trailing behind. A voice came through. Become, Serena, I came back for you. Her eyes filled with tears. So did I. But as their ships moved closer, a dark shadow blocked the stars. Massive Third Fleet appeared, neither human nor alien, unknown, ancient, hungry. Opening scene, unique, cinematic, and emotional. Everything was silent in space. No engines. No weapons. Just silence. Before the storm. Jake stood on the command deck of the stolen alien warship, looking out at the giant enemy fleet blocking the stars. His armor glowed with fading blue light. He was tired, bleeding, but not afraid. Beside him on the hologram, screen, Serena, standing on the royal balcony, her face calm but her eyes burning. Jake touched the screen. You okay? He asked. She nodded. No, but I will be. And then the stars moved. The massive new fleet, black ships shaped like claws, slowly began to circle both of them. Deep voice echoed across all coms. You are failed species. The galaxy belongs to the Varnek. The final decision. Fight or surrender. Inside the control room, Jake looked at the ship's weapons. Can we fight them? He asked the ships. Oh my. Probability of victory, 0.4%. The voice replied. Jake smiled. So you're saying there's a chance? But then Serena's voice came through again. Jake, I have a plan. But you won't like it. Try me. I give them what they want me. My power, my bloodline. In exchange, they leave you and Earth alone. Jake's voice went cold. No. It's the only way. Jake slammed his fist into the console. We didn't come this far just to lose each other. The bond that changed everything. Suddenly, the ship's core began to glow on its own. The ancient energy, the same that changed Jake, started pulsing, syncing with Serena's signature. A new voice appeared in the air, not robotic, but ancient and wise. 2 hearts, 1 bond, chosen not by war, but by love. You are not weapon or ruler, you are balance. Jake looked around. What is this? Serena gasped. It's the ancients. The first ones. The energy spread from there. Ships across space, through the enemy fleet. Varnic ships began shaking. Systems failed. The bond between Jake and Serena had awakened something far older than any race. A force that even the Varnic feared. The enemy flees. The Varnic commander gave a final order: retreat. The bonded one has awakened the source. We are not ready. And just like that, they vanished. Aftermath, choosing a new path. On the ground, Serena walked through the now empty throne room. The crown sat on the floor, untouched. Behind her, Jake stepped in. "You're queen now," he said. Serena shook her head. "No, I'm free." She turned to him. "Come with me, not to rule, not to fight, just to live." Jake smiled. "Where?" "Where no one tells us who to be." Final montage, simple, emotional, beautiful. A few months later. On a quiet, green planet with twin suns, Jake and Serena walked through a peaceful valley. No weapons. No war. Just a small home built into the hills. Strange flowers. Soft winds. Jake was planting something in the soil. Serena brought water in a glowing jar. They looked at each other. Said nothing, but smiled. Together. Final voiceover line, closing the series with meaning. They tried to kill him. They abandoned her. But together, they became something greater. Not rulers. Not soldiers. Just two souls. Who found a home where there was none. Screen fades to black. Text appears. The end or a new beginning.